live any second.
Yeah.
Right. Hello and welcome to Water Player Concussion Sub on a day that we'd all like to forget very quickly. In India's history of playing Test cricket, it's never happened that we have had a whitewash, blackwash, whatever you want to call, at home, and that too against a New Zealand side for any match, any series which has been three or more Test matches. The last time we had a series loss like this, where we did not win one Test match in a series, was 2000 in against South Africa. That was a two-match series, but this coming in at home where everyone's expecting India to roll over New Zealand is absolutely shambolic. I think, Anil, and it's coming at a year where we've had the World Cup win, but that's quickly going to get forgotten very, very soon. And it's really disappointing to see India lose so badly at home to New
Yeah.
Zealand. Yeah. Welcome, New Zealand. Welcome, Anil. But your
Yeah,
initial.
definitely the Indian team did welcome New Zealand with open arms. Uh, so two things was first thing was Indian, the entire bowling unit, batting unit, fielding unit, nobody played properly. I mean, nobody gave the 100%. There were bits and pieces here. Spant played his part um, in the series here and there, but again, he was bad behind the stumps when it comes to grabbing, taking the ball in properly or with DRS. So nobody was there 100%. So it hurts a lot. And the second part was New Zealand did play better, but they weren't like exceptional, right? You go back to the first test match, we were all out for 46, and then when we had an upper hand, we gave away all our lead. So that happened. In the Pune test match, we led the New Zealand batsmen, the first five batsmen to score easily. I mean, I was begging to see some maiden overs to be bowled the entire series. I mean, I can imagine the New Zealand batsmen playing really well, but there was no control over the way they were scoring them. There was no pressure that was being built up. Everyone was trying to do was, okay, the pitch is a rank tunnel. We'll just bowl properly, and it's gonna give us wickets. There was no pressure. They were easily able to score 1 run, 2 run, 3 years. So there was no pressure build up on the New Zealand batsmen to make sure that they're not able to score freely. And hats off to a few of the New Zealand players. You had William Young, you had Darren Mitchell, Latham played some innings, Conway, Ravichandran, I mean Rachin. They all played their part, but they weren't like exceptional. You don't have a century from them, right? So this is why the series hurts a lot. Uh, even though, I mean, sometimes you play bad and your opponent plays exceptionally well. That wasn't the case.
I mean,
And yeah,
and lot of the times we are as fans told that, oh, we are overreacting to anything. But I think today the
yeah,
fans cannot overreact to this
correct.
because this is
Yeah,
so bad, and we've all been patient. First test match loss, yes, bad call at the toss. Second test match loss, okay, yeah, once in 12 years, but completely getting swept at home in favorable
and
conditions,
and we
having.
had a lead, and our target was less than 150 runs. Are you telling me that we are not capable to score 150 runs on a third day pitch? The test match got over, but it's not like it was a fifth day pitch. It was a third day pitch. And I don't know what the crowd sentiment was in Bangalore and Pune, but I saw a few videos from my friends and group. Wankhede was completely packed and it was supporting the Indian players. So I don't know what was missing from their end. And you look at the way they got out, right? It's horrible. I mean, there's no planning. Why would you reverse sweep? Why would you take a single run? Why would Siraj go for a review? Kohli in the second inning, he just defending a straight ball. He takes an edge. It looks like he was napping. Rohit Sharma, he's the only player who gets out of a fast bowler. Everyone else is getting out of spin bowlers. I mean, it's a rank turner, but नहीं भाई साहब को तो अलग ही करना है. Intent दिखाना है. 100 की strike rate पे 11 रन 18 रन मारेंगे. So all that. So that's why this series is hurting a lot. I don't think so. We have been acting enough. And another reason is we had WTC online. If we would have won two games at least, our final berth would have almost been confirmed. Now we go back to Australia, which is much more aggressive. Both the fans and the players, and losing a series 4-0, 5-0, it's going to be really, really bad.
Lavanya is saying that let's cut them some slack. Every great sporting team needs to get a wake up call from time to time. Let's consider this as one of those and move on. The current Indian Test team is by far the best. I mean, I beg to differ because you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
cut them some slack for the first Test match loss. Okay, let's say series loss, but this one, yes, it's a dead rubber. But in the larger scheme of things, WTC and all that, and the fact, as you mentioned, festive season, completely packed stadium as much as you would these days get in a test match in India, but and favorable conditions for India, getting a lead and all that. 140, you would have backed them to get it, but absolutely dreadful batting. I would say from
I mean,
pretty much
definitely they
everyone.
are the best team when it comes to talent. Like I can't get names. I mean, I can't take names on who's going to replace whom, right? But having said that, I can only cut slacks to say Jadeja or Ashwin, right? They had a bad series when it comes to bowling, and that's why there was an added pressure. And also, for some reason, the management think that they are the proper batsmen, because in the past, it was Jadeja, Ashwin, Akshar Patel, or somebody down the line who had actually helped India from a tricky position. Right? You look at Rohit Sharma, you look at Virat Kohli from the past 5 years. Look at their average. And Jaiswal was kind of a hope. I mean, it came like a good sign because he managed to score 1,000 runs in this particular year, right? So he was looking good form, but again he didn't kind of materialize his start. He got out in 20s, 30s, and then Pant had one good game, but the next game was bad. He got run out, things like that. And then you have uh, KL in one of the series. Then the only one whom we can back or who really played his part was Washington Sundar, right? He made an impact with his bowling and a little bit of his batting. But other than that, I don't see any positive coming out from this series.
Yeah, and today it was only Rishabh Pant who
Yeah,
brought some hope from 29 to 5 to touching distance to get us
71.
to
Yeah,
win.
correct.
When Washington and Pant were going. It was a tricky decision considering we haven't got a hotspot. The umpires have to go by what they can
No,
see.
but again, I mean, the umpire doesn't have a conclusive proof, right? If they don't have a conclusive proof, then they should stick with the umpire's decision. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that was a fair call. Regarding the hotspot, we can't have it because of government regulation. It's a military technology, so something like that is it's kind of banned from the
Oh,
government side. So it's
no
it's
way.
it's not only the expensive part; it's also it's kind of a military technology, so can't be used in India. So
Yeah.
there's some regulation with that.
Cloud
But yeah, I mean,
Snag
if it's not conclusive, you should go ahead with the field umpire's decision. That's what I thought.
yeah, Cloud Snag is asking about Shami and Bumrah. Bumrah is obviously being rested because we don't want to bowl him to dirt, considering we
Yeah.
have such an important series coming up. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Siraj didn't get a bowl. So Shami, I think
Mm.
injury concerns, but I think we had enough spinners.
I mean,
My
Siraj not bowling had a zero impact, but then he came back. He came out as a night watchman, and then he took a review. So then he had a negative impact. If he wouldn't have bowled, it would have been no impact.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, Shami missing. I mean, Shami has been a backbone with Bumrah when it comes to a bowling. They used to maintain pressure. You know, when it came to their bowling, it didn't look like they're going to be able to score easily, or if the batsman doesn't play with a discipline, they can get out. With Siraj and Akshadeep, we know okay, there's going to be this 120, 130 ka ball outside fourth or fifth stump. All you have to do is leave or just defend, right? There's no pressure. It's not going to sweep. There's not going to be an off cutter. There's not going to be a bounce or anything like that. So there's no threat from say Siraj or say even Akshadeep a little bit.
Yeah, and in this game there was no Santner, but
Yeah.
Ajaz stepped up and like he did the last time around, got 10 wickets. This time he got a few wickets as well as the game and the man of the match.
Yeah.
But thoughts on his bowling? Is it his bowling or is it just bad batting or a combination of both? Because we have It looks like any spinner who
I
turns
mean,
that
I mean,
arm.
he's a decent bowler. He's a decent bowler. He used the pitch properly. He kind of bowled the good lines, variation, in the air and all. But it's definitely bad batting. It's definitely bad batting. This particular bowler was kind of a toothless in the first two match. You had Santner and Glenn Phillips who were kind of going through the Indian batting, but he wasn't that useful. And suddenly in the third test match, he becomes so deadly. Uh, I mean, kudos to him. He did bowl well, but it was proper bad batting also. Like there was a comment, Ashwin playing a reverse sweep. ठीक से स्पिन तो स्ट्रेट बैट से खेल लो आप, रिवर्स स्वीप तो बाद में खेल लेना.
Especially when only 25 runs required. Washington Sundar's playing well.
I
He's
mean, I mean,
also
all these batsmen early morning. Rohit Sharma played around 40 minutes. There were kids who were bowling left arm bowler, kids who kind of gave them practice. रोहित शर्मा को तो वो सीमा से ही फुर्सत नहीं है, तो स्पिन का खेलेगा वो.
हाँ, spin तक पहुंच ही नहीं रहा है.
हाँ.
So Rohit did mention that he's had a poor series. He agreed to that. I mean, no
But
one
it's a
cares.
captaincy also. See, I understand. We have seen his bad batting performance since IPL. But he's never been a bad captain.
But
This is what
captain,
hurt me a lot. Like it was bad captaincy. The way he used his bowlers, the way the fielding was set up, the way he was giving easy singles and all. That was the worst part of this particular series when it comes to Rohit Sharma. Batting, we have used to it some
yeah.
other way. Yeah.
And he also mentioned that the seniors did not necessarily contribute well. I mean, there's only two seniors in this team. That's unless you want to say Jadeja and Ashwin didn't perform
Ha,
well
Ashwin. Yeah.
with the bat, but I mean, Kohli and Rohit Sharma have had diabolical few weeks. I think Rohit Sharma, especially getting 133 runs in this home series in 10 innings, that'll easily get you out of any team swiftly. But I think we'll have to look ahead and try to see what we can salvage in Australia. But a word on our youngsters as well, especially for Sarfraz. He's had a brilliant knock 150, but four innings on the trot where he's not been able to score runs. You can't then complain if you are swiftly dropped for another batter who's done well every now and then. We all would love to blame KL Rahul for the first test, and I'm sure if he was around probably today and for the previous game, he would probably be taking most of the heavy lifting for all the criticism. But
Yeah.
I think all the youngsters, Shubman Gill, Sarfraz, these chances won't come as quickly. You would have a youngster coming in, grabbing the chances, and won't be able to get in a look in future probably. So we're really disappointed
So,
with their effort
so
as
with
well.
Sarfaraz, he managed to score really well in previous two series. This one also he started really well, but the issue comes, the aesthetic of how one gets out. The way he got out was so bad, right? He couldn't even defend the ball properly, and just ball turning a bit, and he just bamboozled himself, right? So that's an issue when it comes to KL Rahul. At least it looks like his technique is solid.
Yeah,
Sarfaraz, I mean, the way he bats and all, I mean, you could have a different technique, and it's not necessary that you need to have some kind of superlative technique as such. But the way he gets out, it looks like, okay, he's not a proper batsman, and KL Rahul can come in. The
yeah,
only youngster that I see who has made use of his chance is Jaiswal and a little bit of Akashdeep,
yeah.
right?
Your,
And then
your,
Sundar also now, but he's been in frame for past 4 years
mm.
now.
Your thoughts on Akshar Patel? Akshar Patel has had brilliant home test matches
Yeah.
every time he's played. If they were going to play a ranked turner, then why not drop a seamer and get Akshar Patel? He would have done some runs in the
Yeah.
bat as well.
I don't know why it wasn't. I mean, he was a left arm proper bowler. I mean, you could have used him, but again, yeah, I don't know why you still have to go with two seamers, and you don't even end up using one of the seamers, right? I mean, if you don't have confidence, if you think that particular seamer is not going to be useful, you should have known that fact earlier. I mean, it's Mumbai, it's Rohit Sharma's home ground, it's Sarfara's home ground, it's Jaiswal's home ground. They know better about this pitch, and they know what's useful and what's not, and what's going to be useful and what's not going to be useful. So again, come back to the kind of captaincy. And this is a proper series where you can blame everyone. You can blame the coach, you can blame the captain, you can blame the senior Virat Kohli, you can blame the keeper also with his faulty DRS and not proper keeping as such. You can blame the fast bowler, you can blame the fast bowlers also for not being that effective. You can blame the spinners also, Ashwin and Jadeja. They were not as effective as their opponents. तो इसमें सबका आप फोड़ सकते हो सब पे. एंड नो वन फैन विल गेट कि अरे नहीं इसने तो इतना खेला, इसने तो इतना खेला. नो नो, एवरीबॉडी विल बी ब्लेम्ड इक्वली. So
इस
that's a good point when it comes to Indian cricket fans. You can blame everyone. So there's
इस
no favoritism here.
हार का ठीकरा सब पे फोड़ सकते हैं equally.
Ah, correct. Yeah.
Not so much of Washington Sundar. He did try his best,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm really disappointed with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Like I would expect them to step up at some point in the series, whether it's the series is alive or not. There's still a lot to play for in all these test matches ever since we've got the WTC to play for. So two things, and then we'll wrap up quickly. Chances of WTC. I mean, in a sense, me and Suman, we were discussing this. It's good that we'll probably save some money, not
Yeah,
having to go
same
to
here.
matches.
I was about to visit my agent for the Australian visa for the Melbourne Boxing Day Test match. Now I'm thinking if I should really go, because that would be the fourth Test match, and good chances are that it's gonna be already 3-0 in the favor of Australia. So yeah.
That'd be absolutely terrible. And so, word on Gautam Gambhir's coach. I won't like to read too much into it because I would like to credit or blame the captain more than the coach, because captain's the one who's making the calls, and I cannot believe that Rohit Sharma hasn't got what he's wanted in terms of team selection, in terms of the pitch he wants, and in terms of the combination of the squad as well. So yes, Gautam Gambhir has come in, and you can glaringly see that we've had a whitewash which never happened in test matches. ODIs lost against Sri Lanka after so many years, which I'm fine with. Don't really care about bilateral ODIs, but test matches, it really hurts.
Mm.
But the road ahead for Gautam Gambhir, big challenge coming up down under.
Yeah, the only thing he has to do now is motivate the team, prepare a proper team where each player knows their proper role, and help the captain on preparing proper strategies on how to go about it, right? I can understand it's captain's decision with respect to field placement with bowling changes and all, but I think you can still give a word to the captain, right? You can do that as a coach. So yeah, not to read too much about Gambhir's coaching style. It's only been what, 3 series now. But yeah, if BGT goes bad, then yeah, then BCCI has to make some hard calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last question: have we seen the last time the combination of Rohit, Kohli, Jadeja, and Ashwin play in the same test match? I think we have at home for sure. I don't think we're going to
So
see
it
them all.
depends. It depends, right? How bad the BGT goes. If it's okay, 2-0, 2-2, 2-1, something like that, then we kind of salvage some pride. And then in October, when West Indies comes to India, we can have a farewell test match for everyone.
Yeah, West Indies love to come to India, and especially we can have the
Correct.
last test matches with.
No, I think they are already planned. In October 2025, this is when I think they're going to play something on those lines. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
going to be your last home match. The first home match, sorry, in 2025 for a test match.
yeah. In amidst all
But
the,
everything is fine. Everything is fine. We'll have our auction coming up very soon, so
that's
everything will be
exactly.
forgotten. Yeah,
This is exactly
and
what I love about the average Indian cricket fan. They are very forgiving. Some IPL auction masala, and we'll be all forgetting this very swiftly. But the hardcore fans
uh,
like us, they would definitely remember this for a long time to come. And hopefully, India can win at least a couple of test matches in Border Gavaskar Trophy. I think at the rate which they are playing now, I'd be surprised if they win more than one at best. But it could, if it goes really bad, then I think we'll see some end of careers which would have been planned for next year. probably happening very
which
soon.
I don't think so. The average Indian fan will even miss. I mean, we had enough kind in a way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you, I mean, people were comparing Sachin with these young stalwarts back then, but at the age of 37, he was still scoring 1,000 runs in a year.
yeah, yeah. Even when he was considered to be out of form, etc., he was still scoring a lot of runs, and it's really
So,
disappointing. I mean, I
yeah.
can't. Where do you start? Where do you end? But hopefully, India can do better. I mean, India can only do better down under because a
No, no,
fine
no, 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 no. We have 36, we have 46, so you never know.
56,
So
66. But
56,
yeah,
66, yeah.
yeah, most people would before the series. Most people would say, okay, yeah, final loss is very realistic, but 3-0 loss at
Yeah.
home, no one would even dream about it.
I
So
mean, people
hats
would
off
have forgotten the series loss if they would have just managed to win this test match.
in this test.
Because at the
Absolutely,
end, at the end, it's like a starting your journey for WTC for BGT from a winning test match,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if flights have been already booked for London or Australia for few people, but I would be surprised if that
The
happens.
the
Still,
Christmas lights have gone on in central London this weekend, so I'm sure a lot of the people will
uh,
make their way here. But
okay,
hopefully, before the end of the year, India is able to win a couple of test matches because for a year where India's end the drought of ICC trophy, we wouldn't want to have 5, 6 straight losses going into
correct.
next. So hopefully, India can do better. And congratulations to New Zealand and. Really disappointing day for the Indian fans and something which hopefully we can overcome down under. Anil, thank you very much for your time and all the guys who've been commenting and watching. Thanks a lot. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you hopefully in a better mood next time around with some IPL news. Thank you.
Thank you.